In this video, we're gonna be covering some NFT drama, some hot up-and-coming projects, as well as giving you guys a framework of how to look at which project can actually make it to the moon. So the first project that we are going to be talking about is going to be the Vayner Sports Pass, which is Vayner Sports, is a company owned by Gary Vee, as well as AJ Vaynerchuk. It's their sports agency, and so they created this utility pass for their company. And so from my high level understanding, this pass is going to be used to get some more personal connections to some of the athletes and talent on their roster for Vayner Sports. So right now you can see the price is 0.359, and then the mint price was 0.155. However, there is a lot of drama surrounding this project because it seems like from the initial mint, so there's about 15,000 supply, and with the initial mint, with that price, they made $8 million. However, because they didn't do a whitelist and they just had it so that anybody can just buy it whenever, the gas that people spent was 26 million, which is actually kind of ridiculous, right? Because the company only made 8 million, and then the gas fees that goes directly to the miners was triple that. It doesn't really make sense even during this time because there's so many different optimization strategies, whitelist strategies for a company to reduce the gas fees and make it as minimal as possible. But a lot of people are saying like, hey, how can you fumble the ball so hard? Because Gary Vee is already has a successful NFT project and they're in the NFT space. How can something like this happen? And so a lot of people, kind of fudding the project in a bit. So they're saying like, oh, the miners are making so much money. And that's actually true. They definitely made a mistake. And to be fair, I'm not sure how involved Gary Vee was, but AJ Vaynerchuk seems like the one that is running this project, and he apologized for the experience, which is great. He admitted that, yeah, he could have done better. But it's kind of interesting because he's saying here that the development partners was West Coast NFT, and it seems like they are the development partner for Doodles, MFers, Spotty. So they already have experience. So I'm not sure why this happened because it seems like obvious, especially if you already worked on successful projects. But hey, it is what it is. He apologized, and I'm sure they're gonna move forward with this. So I guess if you're into sports and you want to get those kind of access to utilities, something to check out. In other news, Adidas just launched some upcoming news on their NFT project. So it's like, oh, a new age of utility, see what's waiting in the Ozworld. So I guess they're creating their own metaverse kind of thing. I'm guessing they're trying to compete with Artifact Studios. And this is gonna be a little different from what Artifact did, where Artifact had 2000 PFP project. It's 3D, and then maybe in the future, those characters can be decked out with clothes and be used in the metaverse, right? And for the Adidas original NFT, if we remember back, a few months ago, they did a collaboration. Was it Punk's Comics, Bored Ape, as well as G Money, which is in hindsight kind of a weird combination, but it is what it is. And somehow, if you have this NFT, you're gonna get access to the next thing that they put out. And I don't know if the next thing is going to be an actual NFT collectible, because based on their website, what it seems to be you're gonna be able to customize your own 3D avatar. It's AI generated, and then everybody can create their own depending on what they want it to look like. And then I guess you would just buy the clothes that goes on that avatar, right? Not a lot of information has been out about it, but it's interesting because in contrast, Nike and Artifact Studios took that route of we're gonna make all the assets, we're gonna make all the faces and characters, and this is an NFT, and people who buy it, they own it. But then Adidas, I think they're going for more of a mainstream approach where it's hey, you don't have to spend 30K to buy an NFT. You can make one on our website, and then you can get special access this way, and you can buy the clothes. So different approaches. Which one will work remains to be seen, because it's Clone X is kind of for the people who are really into NFTs, right? The mainstream regular person is not buying a Clone X. Too expensive, too much risk, doesn't make sense for them in their brain, right? But for Adidas, it makes sense to just go on their website and create a 3D avatar that, that portrays you almost like a video game, right? And then you just buy a sweater, a jacket, sneakers for that. So I can kind of see it both ways going, but something that I'm paying attention to. Now, when we're looking at the pricing for Adidas Originals, when they did the launch, or when they, launched that they're gonna do this, the price did pump a bit, about 1.5 all the way to 2, and then 1.8. So it's not that much. And I think the reason is because they're not saying there's gonna be an airdrop. They're not saying you're gonna get whitelists for anything. So again, people a lot of times they just trade on narrative, and the price is so speculative because they kind of just said hey, you're gonna get special access, but we're not gonna really give you any NFTs. I think that's why the price isn't pumping like other projects are. Now, the next project that we're gonna be covering is Imaginary Ones. A lot of you guys have been talking about this in the Parallax Discord. If you haven't joined already, make sure to join the Parallax Discord. Link is in the description. Oh, and also make sure to follow me on Twitter because I'm gonna have some news about our up and coming NFT coming soon. So Imaginary Ones, so we covered them before, where essentially the founders are all doxed. They had an agency and software company before, and it was relatively successful from what I can tell. hotel online, and they have a bunch of employees in Singapore. And so now they're doing an NFT project with this 3D meta walking kind of thing. It's kind of like interesting because it took all the metas and put it together. They're like, okay, realistic 3D combined with a walking character, combined with like doodles, the littles kind of vibe where it's family friendly, imagination, and they kind of mix it all together, and now you have the imaginary ones, which is smart, right? Because it's checking all the boxes. Now, they recently updated their website, and I can say their website is pretty impressive, and which makes sense because they come from a tech background, they come from an agency background of creative services. I would expect them to create this like insane website, right? So right on the website, you're gonna see that they're gonna be playing some music. I went ahead and muted it. The website itself looks pretty clean. Explanation of what's going on, crazy graphics, 3D graphics, very colorful. Boys and girls can like it, which is very important in the NFT space. They do have a roadmap. It's kind of like partnerships, community, metaverse, right? So there's an explanation of everything that's going on, which is pretty cool. Like in real life, apparel, they're working on that. Toys, imaginary, physical events, you know, so it's kind of like a mind map. You know how like Azuki had that mind map where they said, you know, it's not like we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's kind of like these are the things we're thinking about, and if we're gonna work on it, we're gonna explore it, and if it works, cool. If it not, then we're just gonna leave it, right? So I like that where they don't really make any promises, right? Because you can't really make all these promises because things change, NFT changes. 888 magical characters, I think that's a fair number for the amount of hype that they're building up. And you know, from what I can tell, it's more like an IP brand, right? So it's not like super crazy utility or you're gonna get access to software. It's really like this is a brand that people can gravitate to, similar to like doodles. What's the utility of a doodle? I don't know, but then, you know, each one is pretty expensive, right? And so I believe they're going for that route where, you know, this can be used for toys, merchandise, maybe movies, maybe like video games and things like that. So I definitely see the IP, like Mickey Mouse vibes going on. And again, like the team is all doxed. So like if you go on their website, you go on, they put all their Twitters and LinkedIn. And if you go on their LinkedIn, I'm gonna go ahead and open it right now to show you. They show their faces, they show like their company. They've been working at, you know, Offio, which is a software company for a while. They have an agency over here for almost 10 years. Dave Lee over here, co-founder. And maybe we should actually get him on the Parallax Twitter Spaces or something, or maybe an interview on the Parallax. If you wanna see that, leave it in the comments because, you know, I could definitely go for that. So yeah, all the founders are doxed in Singapore. They got a real company. I'm sure you can search it up on the public information. And also I hear that, you know, in their Discord, they're really trying to build a community where it's not like people spamming, like, oh, I want a whitelist, I want a list. How you doing? GM. It's more like they're trying to provide more education. They're trying to provide more substance. I'm not in their Discord. I believe it's closed right now, so I can't go in there and see for myself, but that's what I hear from, you know, people telling me on my Discord. So overall, Doc's team, strong art, going for that long-term vision. I can see because they could have launched, you know, 3 months ago and made millions of dollars, but they decided to build a brand over time and build that hype and trying to build that substance over time. So I definitely respect that. And so we got the art, team is good, community seems like it's strong. People talk good things about them behind their backs, which is great. So my guess is that when this comes out, it's gonna be super hot. The floor price is gonna be really high, but in some ways it's kind of deserved in a sense because they actually did try to build something instead of just trying to cash out, right? Because if you have a team like this, technically they could like make a new crash grab every week because they have the team to do that. But I can see they would rather build one strong brand and make it real for their holders. So really respect that, and I'll be following this. Another update is we're gonna be talking about Gangster All-Stars. They recently updated their website. I did a little more digging about this company. So they are a Thai company, like the artists from Thailand, and I'm not sure how many developers are from Thailand, but you know, definitely they got that Thai influence going on. If you kind of look at their background, the lead developer is this dude over here. I can't really pronounce his name, but he's on the council of Anonymized, Zen Apes, Shuffle DAOs. He contributed to CyberCon, either or. So, you know, he has a lot of development experience. And if you go on their website, pretty much it's kind of like when you connect your MetaMask, what happens is you're gonna, you know, do this kind of like visual novel type of thing. And to play, you actually need a token. So I actually don't have a token, so I can't show you. To get a token, you have to register, put all your information in, and maybe you get it, maybe you can buy it. I'm not really sure the specifics on the token, but yeah, so essentially it's a visual novel. They're trying to do something different. It's kind of cool, you know, if you like the art style, and I think they're trying to innovate on the tech because they're gonna be using Ethereum and Polygon is much better for gas fees when it comes to playing games. So, you know, interesting if you're into that, check it out. And we got another update over here if you're into the Asian inspired kind of themes, and that's gonna be BF Party. So BF Party, you know, run by Bushido, which is someone we recently did an interview with, and that's gonna be dropping real soon. Essentially, he dropped this little trailer over here of this character walking. There's a demo going on the website, which is actually pretty fun. It's pretty cool. And again, this is gonna be a multiplayer game, but right now the demo is only single player. So he's saying that fashion interchangeability, so meaning that when you have this NFT, you can change the clothes. Rigging, meaning that, you know, this is a 3D model that you can use in different metaverses potentially, right? If that metaverse allows that model. When it comes to rigging, it's very technical, right? So the metaverse has to be able to handle that. There's animations, obviously it's running, independent design from scratch. So, you know, they definitely hired a really good agency to like make this game and put it together. So the funny thing here is he said Unity bought assets. No, so like a lot of these gaming companies are just go on Unity store or whatever store and they buy these assets. They're like, oh my God, we made this thing, but really they just bought some assets, put it together in a world, and that was it. You know, interesting stuff. Again, we're gonna have an interview coming up with Bushido. We already did the interview, so it's dropping soon, but yeah, it's something you definitely want to follow because I'm pretty sure this is going to be a hyped project, especially because it has the support of the whole Nanoverse ecosystem. And Bushido is a really nice guy, so, you know, definitely something to look out for. And the last thing I want to leave you with is a little lesson on something I learned when I read this Substack by Kobe. Kobe's like basically like I guess he's an influencer or content creator that talks about crypto and stuff, but he had this really good point where he drew this graph where you can kind of put like NFT projects or crypto projects, you know, somewhere here, and it kind of determines whether or not they'll be successful, right? So on the x-axis, you have good and bad project, and the y-axis, you have obscure and popular, right? If you're thinking about buying an NFT project, holding an NFT project, you really need to know where this maps out, right? So like, for example, Clone X is popular and it's a good project owned by Nike, so it's a winner, right? Pretty obvious. Cyberkongs, for example, right? It's definitely a good project for sure, but it's not popular in that it's not like mainstream yet. So I would actually put it in the niche side, but it's getting close to the border of like, you know, obscure and popular. I think it's gonna take Cyberkongs a little bit more of a marketing push and strategy to get it into the popular side, which is possible. But right now I see it like, you know, on the edge over here, right? And so it still can be a great project, but can it get that massive mainstream attention? That's another story. If we look at Azuki, for example, it's a good project and it is popular, so it is a winner, right? But let's talk about like this side. What if it's a bad project? So let's go ahead and talk about Pixelmon. It's a bad project, like, you know, like who's really working on it, right? So it's a bad project and it's popular, so a lot of money got sucked out of the ecosystem. And it's a retail trap. Retail trap means like retail is like the regular everyday investor, not like a VC. So that's a retail trap, right? And nobody knew that it was gonna be such a bad project, right? Some people were thinking that it was popular and a good project. They thought it was a winner, but actually it was just a retail trap. And when retail traps happen, it's like everything goes up and then everything goes down, right? Because it's just like, actually, it's like everyone gets hyped up for it. Everyone's like, I'm buying. And then it goes up. And then when people realize it's bad, they're like, ah, shoot, it's a trap. And then the price dumps, right? Obviously for the bad project and obscure, those are gonna be like all the 3D cash grabs that came out over the last few months. You already know it's a bad project. There's so much FUD going out with the founders, like being serial scammers, and then, you know, they're not gonna be working on it, and it's not really like that popular either. So it's like you're gonna, you know, mint it for like 0.1, and then you're gonna sell it on OpenSea for 0.05 because nobody bought into it because it's not popular, right? And that's just when you're wrecked. So yeah, so this is the framework that I personally use. I really think about like, you know, where they stand. And then for me personally, moving forward, obviously you always want to invest in good projects. You just stay away from the bad projects, right? But the thing I'm gonna be looking for more is that what are the things that maybe are niche that can move into popular, right? Because those are kind of like the hidden gems where it's like nobody really believes in them that much, but you know, like deep down is a really good team and has the potential, again, it's not guaranteed, but potential to move into the popular side, then that's, you know, that's a winner over there. Or if you know that something is brewing and it's popular and you catch it first and it's a good project, then that's a winner already. Those are the things I'm gonna be looking at. And again, like attention is the currency in crypto and NFTs. So like the projects that can get a lot of eyeballs in there, you know, that inflates the price, and that's where you can exit if you choose to do that, or if you want to just hold for the long term, that's where you can also do it. So always use this thing because it's going to help you so much in your NFT trading and investing career. And so with that said, make sure to follow me on Twitter, join our Discord, and I will see you guys in the next one.